The Chicago White Sox are looking to make it back to the ALCS for a second consecutive season. We've got the number one seeded Rangers on the ropes currently, leading the series 2-1, and that was with a game that we completely blew. In Game 1, we had that one ahead 3-1, but we allowed 4 homers down the stretch. Won the second game 3-2, and then Brian Ramos with a pinch hit home run in the bottom of the 8th inning of Game 3 propels us to the win and the 2-1 series lead. Currently, we are set to play against Cleveland if those two series hold up. The road team so far 3-0 between Cleveland and Detroit. So even though we're up on the Rangers, the number one seed who won 94 games, you'd think the vibes would be really high. Wrong. Edgar Caro and Barney Wagner both suffered season-ending injuries in Games 2 and 3, respectively. With the loss of Kyle Teal, the one guy who we absolutely could not have get injured under any circumstances, Edgar Caro, he's out for the rest of the year. And then Barney Wagner, the American League Rookie of the Year, who's been one of our most dependable players, he's out for the year as well. You could easily argue these are our 4 best position players who are done for the season. First, second, third, and 7th in WAR. And then in terms of OPS, amongst guys who actually played regularly, first, third, 4th, and 7th. That's not good. Our lineup is severely depleted. We're going to really depend on guys like Justin Crawford, Corey Julks, Dane Myers at the top. Shane Schmidt is going to have to be the alpha, be the star. Cam Smith is going to have to play better than he has for much of the year. Romeo Sanabria will now be the full-time catcher. With Teal and Caro done for the year, Sanabria is the only guy on the big league team, and hell, the only guy on the 40-man roster who can catch. If he gets hurt, then we're absolutely screwed because we could not bring someone off of the 40-man roster onto the playoff roster, and we cannot utilize free agency. So he's the only eligible catcher for us the rest of the playoffs. Now, I like Romeo. He's been on and off the big league roster over the last 5 years. He's hit reasonably well when he's been up. And then to replace Barney Wagner, I decided to get a little bit bold. Richie Lindsay, who's never played a big league game, will be a regular everyday starter for us for the rest of the postseason. I think his skill set is pretty similar to that of Barney Wagner. A 4th rounder in last year's draft has quickly risen up the minor league system, and at 19 years old, he will make his big league debut in the playoffs. As for the pitching, we're already shorthanded as is. We really only have 3 true starters. Framber Valdez will get the bump in Game 4. He hasn't played very well so far in the playoffs. If we lose, then Game 5 will go to Hayden Wisniewski, and we also have Noah Schultz available if needed. Yuri Perez and Bryce Wilson can eat innings. Really, the only unit I feel good about right now is the bullpen. But we've got to limit the long ball. Ezra Valenzuela, for instance, has already led up 3 against the Rangers. It's not just him, though. It's been everyone. I think we're doing a good job of limiting contact, of limiting base runners, limiting walks. But the Rangers have hit for a ton of power in this series so far as we get started with Game 4. As we look at how today's episode is going to be formatted, no matter what happens in Game 4, win or lose, there will be another game in today's episode. Obviously, in an effort to make it through the postseason quicker, we're going to get through multiple games. Just because this is an elimination game doesn't mean this will be the only game. So the plan is, if we win Game 4 against the Rangers, we will start the ALCS against either Detroit or Cleveland. We will play Game 1, and we will get through the early part of that series. If we lose Game 4 today, then we will play Game 5 as well. So there will be a resolution to the ALDS no matter what. With Framber Valdez and Billy Jackson set to start here in this one, an age difference of over 15 years separating these two as we look at both lineups. Richie Lindsay in the 9 slot, playing second base, making his big league debut in the playoffs. As we take a look at Framber Valdez, so far in 2 postseason starts, has not looked great. We're certainly expecting more from the guy we consider our ace. He's got a whip of 2. His walk rate has doubled his strikeout rate. He's just allowed way too many base runners up to this point. We'll start with Ahmed Rosario. Only 1 hit through 3 games. He goes down on the high fastball. Nice pitch by Valdez. Full count here for Wyatt Langford. He's played pretty well so far for the Rangers. One of the few guys for them hitting for contact as he draws a walk on the low circle change. And the Rangers have one of their speedsters aboard with 1 away. That'll bring up Will Benson now with 2 gone. Little lefty-on-lefty action. The 1-2. This one is hit up the middle. Lindsey cannot make the play. Langford digs for third. Crawford the throw. Nope, he's going to hold it second. Pardon. Does not want to test out Justin Crawford's arm, and I don't really blame him. So now it's first and second for Josh Naylor. Lefty-on-lefty again. That one is way up and in. That pitch was aimed to be well outside, but Valdez's control this postseason has looked rough. Naylor gets it over the glove of Schmidt. Langford will score with no problem. Benson around third, digs for the plate. Throw from Schmidt, not in time. 2-run double for Josh Naylor, and the Rangers are on the board here in the first inning, up by a pair. That'll bring up Royce Lewis now at the full count, maybe looking to add to the lead for Texas. This one is hit into left. Myers cannot make the play. He blocks it. Naylor will score, and the Rangers lead it 3-0. A quick start for Texas against the ever-struggling Framber Valdez, who continues to look rough here in the postseason. Gerard Encarnacion flies it into center. Crawford under it, makes the play. Rough inning for Valdez, though. He continues to allow a lot of base runners, but he also allows 3 earned runs. Billy Jackson on the bump for the Rangers, his first postseason appearance of the year. Had a pretty solid season in his first full year as a starter at just 21 years old, with an ERA below 4 and a whip below 1.5 as he strikes out Corey Julks on the slider. Already some damage control to do for Chicago as Schmidt goes down on the 2-seam fastball. It's certainly going to be a steep hill to climb, given that, 4 of our best offensive players are injured. We've got to outscore the Rangers by at least 4 to win this game, but it is early. Although Texas is not done. Tyler Stevenson into right. That baby's out of here, and the Rangers add to the lead. It's 4-0. His 3rd home run of this series already. Framber Valdez has allowed way too many base runners in the postseason, and when you get caught playing with fire, eventually you will get burnt. That's been the case here in Game 4 for Valdez, and we are going to yank him here. An inning and a third, only records 4 outs and allows 4 runs. A disastrous start from Framber Valdez, and he will be replaced by Ezra Valenzuela, who we're looking to get multiple innings out of. Deja vu? Well, this is exactly what we've done in both of Valdez's first 2 postseason starts. Ezra pitched 4 perfect frames in Game 1 against the Royals to give us the win. Struggled a lot more in Game 1 against the Rangers as he walks Ahmed Rosario. He's already let up 3 home runs so far against Texas through 2 games. Does not look great. Rosario for second. Langford bloops it in for a hit. Rosario on his high horse. He goes around third, heads for the plate, and he is safe. A 66-mile-an-hour RBI double for Wyatt Langford, and the Rangers lead it 5-0. Will Benson back up for Texas. A big reason why they got 3 in that first inning. As he grounds this one over to short. Julks blocks it. He will not make the throw, but it's still a big play because if that ball gets by him, that would have scored another run. Would have made it 6-0, but instead it forces Langford to hold it third. Inning still alive as Josh Naylor flies it into center. Crawford is under it. He will make the play, but the White Sox pitching continues their rough start. It hasn't mattered who's in, whether it's Valdez or Valenzuela. The Rangers add 2 more, and they're up 5-0. I mean, to be fair, we did score 7 in the last game, so I guess it's possible, even with this band of goobers, as Dane Myers goes down looking. 3-1 here for Cam Smith. Struggled down the stretch last postseason, has not been good this year. Draws a walk on the low fastball. Romeo Sanabria's turn, the 3-2. This one is on the ground towards second. Nice play by Rosario. Throw to first in time. So far, no hits through 2 innings for the depleted White Sox offense, trailing this game 5-0. The Rangers playing with their season on the line, and they've looked the part so far, but they are not done. Royce Lewis sends it in the corner here in the third and left. Myers gets to it really quickly. That forces Lewis to stay at first. Great defensive play by Dane Myers, but it's yet another hit for Texas. Gerard Encarnacion now up for the Rangers. This one is on the ground. Julks blocks it again. And once more, no play at first. Good job of deflecting it, but the Rangers have 2-1 with nobody out. Ezra's already let up like 4 base runners so far. Robbie Gerard goes down looking on the curveball. Ezra needed that one badly. He's struggling so far, and his leash is short. 2 away now. 2-2 for Rosario. This one is flown into the air. Crawford's gotten the final out in each of the first 2 innings, and he gets it again. Credit to Ezra. The inning looked shaky early, led up the 2 guys to start, but no further damage done. The Rangers don't score. Bottom 3, 2-2 for Oswaldo Escobedo, and he goes down on the slider. Rough postseason for Waldo. In his 6 games so far, he has hits in 1 of them. Not good. He's 0 so far against the Rangers. Richie Lindsay, first big league at bat. First big league hit. Singles into center field. That's the first hit for our team the whole game. Welcome to the majors, Richie Lindsay. He's not getting his debut on a random Tuesday in June. His big league debut coming in the postseason, and he delivers with a hit. Justin Crawford with a walk, and now we're starting to get a little something going. 2 on, 2 away for our best healthy hitter. Schmidt sends it into right. That goes for a hit. Lindsay around third, heads to score. Crawford for third. Everybody's safe. And the White Sox are on the board. It's 5-1. Shane Schmidt delivers the RBI. Now it's Dane Myers, the Dane train, with a big opportunity. 3-2. On the ground over to short. Seager sends it to Rosario. And the Rangers only get out of that one, allowing 1. So both teams leave multiple runners on base here in the third. We'll go top 4. There's Langford. Swing and a miss. On the curveball. Good pitch there by Ezra. Will Benson now. He's had a productive night so far. Already 2 for 2. The count 2-2 with 2 away. This one is ripped into center. His 3rd hit of the game. Crawford gets to it quickly at the wall. Benson into second with a double. Hasn't mattered who's been on the mound. He is mashing the cover off the baseball regardless. Naylor now up for the Rangers. The 1-1, and this one is low in the dirt. Benson for third. And that was kind of a dumb decision if you think about it. He was almost out, and he'd still be in scoring position anyway, but he's safe, so I guess it worked out. Full count now for Josh Naylor, the 3-2. Naylor on the ground. Lindsay with the play. Throw to first in time. Naylor, I've never even met her. Good defense there by Richie Lindsay. I love his defensive profile. Great at second. I think we could try to move him over to short at some point in his career as we go bottom 4. Brian Ramos up the middle. Nice scoop. Ahmed Rosario throws him out at first. Lindsay so far is the only player on the team with a base hit. I think that's a problem as we move into the 5th. Ezra's day is done. 2 2/3 innings. Only allows 1 run. A little sloppy early, but pitched really well late. Bryce Wilson will replace him. Over 100 innings this year. ERA barely above 3. We're hoping he can need some innings and give us some productive frames. With 2 away, Gerard slips that one by Corey Julks. And the South Dakota State Jackrabbit is aboard now for the Rangers, as that'll bring up Tyler Stevenson, who homered earlier. Sends this one into center. Crawford's going to have to hustle. Crawford makes the play! A diving grab to end the inning by Justin Crawford as it remains 5-1. And credit to our pitching. Since that 2nd inning, we've settled in. The problem is the offense has 2 hits. Our B team is struggling at the plate. Billy Jackson's day is done. Overall, a really good one. Maybe a little surprised they're taking him out, but he is only 21 years old. He's a young guy, so I kind of get it. At the same time, as Max Kranick will come in to replace him. He's looking good so far this inning. Retires the side. Crawford goes down on the high fastball, and man, this team is really missing Kyle Teal. And Mike Trout. And Edgar Caro. And Barney Wagner. As we move into the 6th, here's Ahmed Rosario. Sends this one into right. Smith chases after it. He'll make the play for the first out of the inning. Good to see Bryce Wilson pitching well. He's looked good in this game. Maybe he's a guy, if we win this series, knock on wood, who starts a game in the ALCS. Corey Seager goes down on the fastball. That'll wrap up the top of the 6th. That other great inning for Bryce Wilson. It's crazy. He was just sitting in free agency for like a month and a half. And he's had a great year for us. Here's Julks swinging a miss on the slider. We're going to get on with a full count. Doesn't happen. Shane Schmidt, he's driven in our only run so far today, and he's really been the only offensive player who's been good this postseason. Goes down on the curveball. Good strikeout by Kranick. Will he retire the side? Dane Myers is up for Chicago with a full count. The 3-2. And he sends this one into the air into center. Girard is under it, should make the play, and he will. 2 hits through 6 innings. That is not good. This offense, I mean, they have an easy excuse, but the fact of the matter is they are really struggling, and there's no reason to think they won't continue to struggle. We'll go top 7. Bryce Wilson's still in the game. Will Benson looking for his 4th hit, and he won't get it. Julks, the throw to first is in time for out number 1. Will Benson unable to make it 4 for 4. Good play at short by Corey Julks. 1-2 now for Josh Naylor, who had the hit earlier in the first to drive in 2 runs. He goes down on the fastball right down the middle. Wilson's 2nd strikeout of the game. Royce Lewis now is up, the 3-1 pitch. Lewis grounds it back to shorts. Julks the backhand, the throw to first is in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Wilson, who's looked excellent. 3 scoreless, never really in doubt, as we will go into the bottom half of the frame. Sergio Santana is in for the Rangers. Texas looking to seal the deal, up by 4. Santana has not allowed a run so far, pitching in 2 of the 3 games in this series. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. That'll start with Cam Schmidt, who rips this one into the gap. Finally, the 3rd hit of the game for the White Sox. That'll go for extras. Our first extra base knock of the night. Took only over 6 innings, but better late than never. It's a double for Smith. Could this be the start of the rally for us? Romeo Sanabria 1-2. Swing and a miss. Haven't really gotten anything out of him offensively in this game. You know, we could really use Kyle Teal or Edgar Caro right about now. Where's Waldo? He certainly has not shown up in the postseason. He goes down looking with the full count fastball, and it remains 5-1 as we go into the 8th. Another pitching change for Chicago after 3 great innings from Bryce Wilson, as we will ultimately roll to Tony Santillan. He's been okay so far this postseason run. He's allowed 1 run in 2 2/3 innings. Average against lefties, though, is 1,000. Will Robbie Girard continue that? I think it's fair to say the answer is yes. Girard into right field. That baby is gone. 409 over the bullpen. First home run of the postseason for Girard. First run of the game for the Rangers since the 2nd inning. They had that incredible start, but they hadn't scored since the top of the 2nd inning. The pitching really came along nicely, but Girard sends one into the seats to make it 6-1. Runner on first, full count for Ahmed Rosario, draws a walk, and Santillan, he is not looking too hot. We're going to keep him in for now. He is a good clutch pitcher. Sure enough, Langford on the ground. Lindsey, Julks doesn't get the throw off. No double play for the White Sox, and there's 2 on, 2 away for Corey Seager. The 1-2. Swing into this on the circle change. Santillan gets out of the jam, but he does allow a solo homer to Robbie Girard. It's a 6-1 lead. We'll go bottom 8. Colin Holderman is in now for the Rangers. He's pitched in all 3 games so far, and he's been really good, not allowing a run so far. Julks chases the sweeper. That was not the pitch, buddy. Halderman gets out of the 8th. We'll move into the 9th with Avner Uribe coming into the game. The White Sox steering clear from using some of their elite receivers, guys like Brian King, Jojo Romero, even Edwin Uceta. Certainly Bruno Merced could be a sign that Chicago recognizes their fate. Lewis chases the slider. Full count, way out. Doesn't matter. Good inning for Abner Uribe, who's played well this postseason. Middle of the order, 3-4-5 look to save the day and prevent a possible Game 5. Yosfer Zulueta is out of the bullpen for the Rangers. Cam Smith belts it into left. That goes for a hit. We're down to our final out and our final strike there, but Smith keeps the inning and thus the game alive. Colson Montgomery in off the bench, looking to help save the day. He flies this one into right center. It's got some carry. Girard is after it, makes the play, and that will do it. This series is headed to a Game 5, which, remember, will be today in a couple of minutes. Texas wins Game 4 6-1. They scored 5 of their 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and with our offense being significantly depleted, that is all they needed and then some to win the game comfortably. Obviously, the pitching wasn't great early. Framber Valdez was really bad. He gets the loss. But the offense definitely feels like the concern right now. We only had 4 hits in this game. We're not really hitting for much power. I mean, this looks like an offense who's without arguably their 4 best hitters, and it's hard to say that playing all these guys in our lineup without the stars will be sustainable in the postseason. Yeah, we could win Game 5 against the Rangers, but after that, it could get really tricky. So hopefully this is not a sign of things to come at the plate. 12 hits, 3 walks for the Rangers. Stevenson and Girard with homers. Billy Jackson played well. Bullpen was phenomenal. We only got 6 base runners in this game. That's just unacceptable. Richie Lindsey 1 for 3 in his big league debut. The only player on the team to score. Framber Valdez was a disaster, but everybody else was pretty good. But unfortunately, Valdez and the offense were so bad it didn't matter. So that now gets us set up for Game 5 back in Texas, splitting the 2 games at home. The Rangers' offense has certainly rebounded. They didn't look good early in this series. They only scored, 6, 7 runs over the first 2 games. But over the last 2 games, they have 12, 6 each. Cleveland and Detroit is also headed to a Game 5. The Cinderella Pirates are going to Game 5 with the Giants. Imagine if Pittsburgh wins that series. They will have beaten both LA and San Francisco, the 2 best teams in the league. The Mets, meanwhile, swept Milwaukee. They are in the NLCS. Hayden Wesneski versus Sandy Alcantara in Texas with the season on the line here in game number 5. Our offense, of course, has certainly struggled as of recent. They only put up 1 run in game 4. We only had 6 base runners. It's not like we got guys on base to begin with. The White Sox are no stranger to winner-take-all games. We've had 5 postseason series in this franchise series, dating back to the start of last year. All 5 of them have gone the maximum length of games. They've all had a winner-go-home game. Last year's ALDS went 5. The ALCS and the World Series went 7. This year, the wild card went 3 games, and this series is going to a Game 5. Sandy Alcantara versus Hayden Wesneski on the bump. We've obviously got our history on this channel with Sandy Alcantara in big playoff games. And there are some good moments and a lot of bad moments. The winner headed to the ALCS, facing off against either Cleveland or Detroit, who have a winner-go-home Game 5 of their own at Comerica Park. As we take a look at both lineups, 1-9 each way. White Sox going with something very similar to what we saw in game number 4. I think there's only one different player instead of Ramos. It's Schmidt. Here is Sandy Alcantara. He pitched in game 1 against the White Sox. Really wasn't great. He allowed 3 runs in 4 1/3 innings. Whip at 1.85. We'll see if he looks a little bit better here against a more depleted White Sox offense who had Edgar Caro and Barney Wagner in that game. Lewis, what a play from his back! Not even close! Crawford around first for second. It's safe. I didn't know 9 was playing third base now. A throwing error for the Rangers, and Crawford, who's very fast, his speed is in the 90s, is in scoring position. Myers up the middle, what a scoop! Alcantara prevents a base hit, prevents a run from being scored, and despite starting the inning with Crawford at second base, the White Sox get nothing. Who knows how many base runners and how many opportunities we're going to get. We've got to take advantage of every chance throughout this game. Hayden Wesneski pitched in games 2 against the Royals and the Rangers, 1-1. He's played really well so far. ERA below 3, whip in the mid 1.1s. He's been good, really good so far, but he's got to have another great performance here in a winner-take-all Game 5. Rosario leads off 3-2. This one goes into center field. Crawford will not make the play. A leadoff single for Rosario, just his 3rd hit of the series. And the Rangers get a runner aboard. We'll see if they can do any damage. Wyatt Langford's turn for Texas, the 1-2. This one is grounded up the middle. Lindsey with the scoop to second. No! He is safe. Everybody is safe. And to make matters worse, Richie Lindsey got hurt. He injured his leg. Probably not something long-term. But now he's out of the game. The replacement for our replacement is injured, and Brian Ramos will come off the bench to replace him. It's been a busy postseason for Ramos, who hasn't started a lot, but has come off the bench regularly. Today a little earlier than we hoped. Julks bobbles it. Throw to first is in time. Good recovery. Got 1. But we really should have gotten the double play, and that changes things. Instead of a runner at 3rd and 2 outs, the Rangers now have a couple guys in scoring position with a great opportunity to strike. And it won't happen. Naylor goes down on the fastball. An eventful bottom of the 1st. Credit to Wesneski for getting out of it. Doesn't mean it was pretty, though. Let's up a few base runners. Richie Lindsey done for the game. Not ideal. Let's go top 2. Here is Sanabria. Gets plonked on the shoulder. And so he is aboard with 1 away. That'll bring out Oswaldo Escobedo. We need more from him. He has not played well whatsoever. On the ground. Great. It's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. It's unfortunate because Waldo's had a great year. That's why we've kept him in the lineup. But, man, he has just been brutal this postseason run. As we go bottom 2, Robbie Girard is up first for the Rangers. The 1-2, swing and a miss on the sinker. Girard has been impressive in this series. He's hit the ball for contact, homered in the last game. I think his defense has been outstanding. Sebastian Walcott's turn, the 1-2. Walcott chases the slurve. I think we talked about it earlier in this series, but he's a guy, along with Girard, who we could have traded for Luis Robert a number of years back. Would it have been worth it? Lou Bob's a lot better than both of those guys and gave us some great seasons, but he's also no longer on the team. Schmidt grounds out to Walcott, still scoreless through the middle of the 3rd. So far, so good for Sandy Alcantara. Bottom 3, 1 away. Ahmed Rosario swinging a miss on the fastball. It's looking like a pitching duel. So far, as both of these arms have been impressive. 2 away, 1-2 for Wyatt Langford, and he puts it on the ground to short. Julks fields it cleanly. Throw is not even close! Into the dugout, and E6. That's his second bad defensive play today. I moved him over to 3rd and Schneeman to short. As Seager belts it up the middle. Single into center. Langford will score with no problem. An unearned run will come across for the Rangers. The 2-out error by Corey Julks directly costs us a run. And in a game where there hasn't been any scoring yet, and with an offense that's really struggled, that is the last thing we need. Benson into right. Smith will make the play, but Texas gets 1. Not to the fault of Hayden Wisniewski. We need all the runs we can get. We're probably not going to score much. Corey Julks, you better make it up to us here. Okay, well that's, something. He draws a walk. Could have been worse. Hard to complain. Shane Schmidt now, 2-2. That was a perfect pitch right down the middle. What were you waiting for, dude? I'll bring up Dane Myers, the 1-1. All aboard the Dane train. We are taking off from the station. It one-hops off the wall. Runner around 3rd, heads to the plate, and Julks. He allows the run on defense, scores a run on offense. Okay, now we're even. It's a double for Myers, and the game is tied at 1. Romeo Sanabria now, the 1-2. This one is scooped by Naylor. White Sox do tie the game, though. So we are back, knotted up at 1 apiece. It's Dane Myers who delivers for Chicago. Bottom of the 4th now. We'll see if Hayden Wisniewski can continue to pitch well. Royce Lewis is up with 2 away. 1-2. Lewis hits it pretty well into left field. Myers after it makes the play, and through 4, we are tied at 1. Both teams are starting to get some scoring in, but still certainly has been a pitching duel. The White Sox only have 1 hit so far, and the Rangers' only run is not really to the fault of Wisniewski, but more so because of our defense. Into the 5th. It's been a tough postseason for Daniel Schneeman, as he's hitting under 100. He does draw a walk. The middle infield as a whole has been just completely sorry as hell. Waldo's average is under 102. Montgomery is over. Brian Ramos hitting 222. That's by far the best of the group as he strikes out. Good pitch by Alcantara. Justin Crawford now, he himself only hitting 214. As this one is on the ground over to short. Walcott flips it to 2nd. Really, other than Shane Schmidt, I don't know if anybody's hitting above 250 in the lineup today. Maybe Dane Myers, he's been solid, but everybody else, it's been rough. And last year, the reason why our offense faltered was because the depth was not good enough. Here's Walcott, sends it into right field. Smith will make the play quickly. Walcott over to 2nd. Good throw, but not in time. A leadoff double for Sebastian Walcott, who's in scoring position for the Rangers, looking for the lead back. Tyler Stevenson now, the 1-1. Stevenson grounds it to 2nd. Ramos makes the play, but Walcott makes it over to 3rd, so he's now 90 away from home. That'll bring up Ahmed Rosario, the 2-2. This one is popped into left. Myers after it. He will make the play. I thought about diving for that one, but I figured even if he catches the diving ball, the run is going to score because he's on the ground. If he lets that drop, run's probably not going to be able to tag in. So a heads-up play there by Myers. Now 2 away. Wyatt Langford swinging to miss on the circle change. Wisniewski gets us through 5. Remains tied at 1. Offense, the door's wide open. Wisniewski has given you a great outing. Just need a couple of runs. That's all I ask over the next 4 innings. Sandy Alcantara is still in the game. 3-2 for Schmidt. His 100th pitch of the night is a walk, and that will be his final pitch. Much better outing for Sandy Alcantara than we saw in the first game. And unlike Game 7 of the World Series in the Marlins franchise, he didn't completely wet himself and blow it. Max Kranick will replace him. He hasn't allowed a run yet in the postseason. He's played now in all 5 games, and he's been really rock solid. Myers on the ground. Lewis from his knees to second. Rosario to first. Double play. 5-4-3. Rangers get out of it. The White Sox still only have 1 hit through 6 innings. Biggest game of the year for the offense, and they have totally laid an egg. We'll go bottom 6. We're going to keep Wisniewski in the game. Pitch count's getting a little high, also nearing the 100 mark, but he has looked really good, and I want to trust him. Julks with a walk, so the leadoff runner is aboard for Texas. We'll see if they can take advantage. Seager at first. That'll bring up Will Benson, who's been excellent this series. Benson says goodbye to this baseball into right field, 4:15. The Rangers take the lead 3-1. Second homer of the playoffs for Will Benson. And in a pitching duel with not a lot of offense, it's Texas who gets the first truly big and possibly game-defining swing. We're going to keep Wisniewski in the game. Might be a little bold. I'll explain why after this at bat. I think that might have been a mistake. Naylor into the opposite field looking for extra bases. Rounding first, heads to second with a double. So the thought process here is that Wisniewski's been great during the playoffs. He's been really good over the last month. I wanted to give him that grace, but his leash was 1 base runner following the homer. Lets up the 1 base runner, got to take him out. He played 5 really good innings. The numbers and the final line are not going to look great. He's allowed a couple runs so far, might have another one come in, but you can't forget about the error in the 3rd. He pitched a really solid game, and if we do lose, it will be hard to blame it on him. Edwin Uceta will replace him. He's been good so far in the postseason. Hasn't allowed a run yet. Runner on third for Lewis. Grounder to Julks. Throw to the plate is way off. Sanabria, quick throw to first is not in time, and it's 4-1. Yet another bad defensive play by Corey Julks. I don't mind the decision to go home. I think he could have gotten the out, and in a Game 5, you got to be aggressive. But that throw was not even close, and he wasn't that far away from home plate as Walcott strikes out. So Julks has only been charged with 1 error tonight, but he really should have 3. Stevenson on the ground. Ramos makes the play. Good work for Edwin Uceta. Rangers get another run, but again, I don't think it was because of the pitching. It was because Corey Julks has been a troll defensively all day. Julks is a free agent at the end of the year. It'd be a real shame if this was how he ended his White Sox career. After all the ups and downs we've gone through with him, as Colin Holderman comes in, he also is not allowed a run, and he's also played in every game in this series. Sanabria up the middle, base hit. Just the second of the game for the White Sox. It's the 7th inning. It's our 2nd hit of the game. We've got to obviously go on a little bit of a run. We're down by 3 with the season on the line. Oswaldo Escobedo, the 1-2. That one is low, in the dirt. Sanabria for second. He's out of there! We've been aggressive with the decision-making. Julks throwing home. Sanabria running. We wouldn't make these choices in the regular season, but we're down by 3 in an elimination game. What other choice do we have? Waldo draws a walk. Good at bat. So Sanabria didn't even need to go for second. As Holderman is replaced by Josef Zulueta. He has also played in every game. Hasn't been as good as the others. He's allowed a couple runs so far. Daniel Schneemann up the middle, base hit. We're going to send Waldo. The aggressiveness continues. He's safe despite a great throw by Girard. I don't get Robbie Girard. His arm strength and arm accuracy rating is in the 50s. But every time I see him throw it, it's a bullet that's perfectly on the mark. So we've got runners on the corners. The tying run is up, and it's Brian Ramos who had the big pinch hit homer in Game 3. Can Brian Ramos give us a big hit? Even like something in the gap that cuts the lead to 1. That'd be amazing. Looks at the sinker. Didn't like that pitch, but now he is behind 1-2. Zulueta looking to get out of the inning, keep it at 3. Ramos grounds it foul. This could be our last real opportunity to make the comeback. We've got 2 guys on. We've got a real shot here given to us on a silver platter. 1-2 for Ramos. Fouls off the sinker. That pitch was close. Might have been a little outside the zone, but with 2 strikes and 2 outs in this spot, I don't blame him for swinging. You got to protect. You can't go down looking. This one is grounded to short. Walcott over to first in time. We will stretch. We will go down to the bottom of the 7th. It is a 3-run lead for the Rangers, and things are not looking good for the White Sox. Clock is nearing midnight for Cinderella. Ahmed Rosario chases the cutter. All we can really do this point, at least in terms of the pitching, is just try to be flawless. We cannot let the lead get any higher. If we want any chance of a comeback, we cannot let Texas add to it. Seager up the middle. Shift plays out well. Schneemann over to first in time. Great job by Edwin Uceta out of the bullpen. 2 scoreless innings. Our offense only has 2 more chances. We've got the 8th. We've got the 9th. That's it. Sergio Santana is out of the bullpen for the Rangers. Has not allowed a run yet here in this postseason. Top of the order. Could be the last chance and the last hurrah for them this year as Crawford flies out to center. 5 outs away, the Rangers are from moving on. Corey Julks now. He's had 3 horrible defensive plays in this game. The 1-1. Julks skies it high in the air into left. That one is not deep enough. It is caught for the 2nd out of the inning. We're down to 4 outs. That clock is getting dangerously close. I don't know if that slipper's going to fit. Schneemann with a rocket, and it's caught. 115 off the bat, an absolute bullet right into the glove of Gerard. 1-2-3 inning. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th. Jojo Romero is out of the pen. We're going to be throwing in our best guys now. I mean, what other choice do we have? Romero has pitched 2 scoreless innings this postseason. Got a few lefties up. That starts with Will Benson, who had the big homer a couple innings ago. The straw that's broken the camel's back that we've not been able to recover so far, as Romero strikes him out to start the frame. Josh Naylor, again, lefty on lefty. 1-2 count. Naylor swing and a miss on the fastball. Jojo Romero making quick work of this lineup. Bullpen's been excellent in this game, keeping this one just the littlest bit afloat. Gerard gets hit. 97 up and in. Got him on the shoulder with a stare down for Romero. Royce Lewis now pops it into center. Cam Smith is under it. He'll make the play, and that'll end the 8th. This is it. The White Sox are down by 3. We need 3 to tie, 4 to take the lead here in the top of the 9th. We only have 2 runs all day. 17 innings of action. We have 2 runs and 7 hits. And I think 1 extra base hit. Cole Winn is in for the save. He's 1 for 1 in save ops. Did that in game 1 of this series. As we will start with Dane Myers. 4-5-6 due up. Myers swinging to this. There's 1. I don't like the fact that we're down by 3. I'd almost feel more comfortable if we were down by 4 and the Rangers brought in one of their lesser relievers. Cam Smith draws a walk. We will take that. Runner aboard. Got to start somewhere. Stack some base runners. Rome was not built in a day. Romeo is up with a 2-2 count. Sanabria grounds it foul. That could have ended the game. A double play, which would be awfully fitting, would end our season. Certainly a lot on the shoulders of the injury replacement times 2. Romeo Sanabria gets a hold of this one into right center. Gerard at the track, at the wall. It is gone! 4-19 into the bullpen. The White Sox are not quite ready to quit just yet. Sanabria replacing Kyle Teal and Edgar Caro comes up big in the biggest at-bat of his life. 4-19, 108 off the bat. Still some work to do, but all of a sudden it feels like there's some hope. A 1-run deficit is a whole lot more manageable than 3. Big-time swing for Sanabria. Oswaldo Escobedo's been too much of a troll. I don't trust him whatsoever. We'll bring in Colson Montgomery. It was a close one. Fastball high. It was a strike. It was in the zone. They're not going to give Cole Winn the call. Montgomery has not yet reached base in this postseason. If you thought Schneemann and Waldo were doing bad, but I figure we might as well just change it up. Throw something at the wall, hope it sticks. Montgomery fouls that one off. Count remains even at 2-2. The tying run Oh, they call that ball 3. That pitch was even more so in the zone. We were gifted one. Coles Montgomery's got to take advantage. 3-2. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and the White Sox are down to their final out. The season will come down to the bat of Daniel Schmidt, who only has 2 hits this postseason, one of which has come today. The 1-1 for Schmidt, and he fouls it off, and our season is down to its final strike. During Schmidt's 4-year tenure here, he's had some big late-game moments. None would be bigger than this one. The 1-2 pitch. Schmidt gets a hold of it into right. Benson at the track, at the wall. It's gone! Daniel Schmidt ties it at 4. The White Sox will not quit. Demon Schmidt with the biggest swing of his life. The late game magician strikes when the lights are the brightest. Chicago entered the inning down by 3. All hope was lost. The offense looked dead, but we have stormed back to tie it. The season was down to its final out, down to its final strike, but Demon Schmidt with the swing of his life to tie it. So the Rangers make a switch. Cole Winn does not get the win. He's out. Alejandro Rosario, who has not pitched in the postseason, is in. He will see Brian Ramos, who's 0 for today. That one is inside. Ramos probably was not expecting another at-bat, but now here he is. Tie game in an elimination game in the 9th inning. What an opportunity for Ramos. 2-1. He gets a hold of one. Into center. Gerard at the wall. It's gone! Brian Ramos for the lead. The White Sox ahead 5-4. Are you kidding me? Chicago puts up 4 in the top of the 9th with 3 home runs. This season was over 5 minutes ago. And now all of a sudden the White Sox have taken the lead. The slipper still fits on Cinderella. Ramos gets a meatball down the middle. Gerard, who had a robbed homer earlier in this series, just barely misses that one into the bullpen. The White Sox all of a sudden are in the driver's seat with the lead and all the momentum. You can hear a pin drop in this building, and the base runners are going to keep coming. Crawford, single into right. Naylor doesn't make the play, and so we've got another runner aboard. Corey Julks has had a rough night, and that rough night will continue. Grounds at the second. Walcott makes the play. That'll end the inning, but it does not end our season. The White Sox score 4. It was Romeo Sanabria who got it started with the 2-run shot. And then with 2 away, down to the final strike, Daniel Schmidt ties the game. Brian Ramos, who remember didn't even start, replaced Richie Lindsay due to injury. He homers for the lead. We're up 5-4, and now we get to bring in the rookie, Bruno Merced, who's in for the save. He's been perfect so far in the postseason, and really ever since the All-Star break. This might sound like a hyperbole, but he's on one of the most dominant stretches I have ever seen for a reliever. But he's a rookie. He hasn't been fazed by the moment yet, though. Walcott pops it up. Ramos with the first out of the inning. I mean, if we can come back down 3, the Rangers can certainly get 1, you would think. Tyler Stevenson, 2-2. Up the middle, base hit. Tying run is aboard for Texas, and there are a wide range of outcomes here. Double play ends the game. It would send us to the ALCS. Home run ends the game. It would send the Rangers moving on. Or anything in the middle would certainly make things a little bit more dicey. It's the top of the order. We'll start with Ahmed Rosario. His postseason average is just 105. The 1-1 for Merced, tying run aboard. Rosario hits it into left. Bounces fair to the corner. Myers hustles to it. Stevenson will hold at third. Great hustle by Dane Myers to prevent the run from scoring, but now the Rangers have 2 runners on base. Tying run is 90 feet away from home. If this ball is hit solid into the outfield, they should score him. The winning run is at second base, and Rosario's reasonably fast. A base hit would win it for the Rangers, and so we will intentionally walk Wyatt Langford because him being at first base doesn't really matter. This is going to set up a force out at all three bases. The problem is look who's up. It's Corey Seager, who's one of the all-time postseason greats in the history of the sport. He's only 4 for 21 in this series, but of those 4 hits, 3 of them are home runs. Finds himself behind 1-2. The pitch from Merced. Swing and a miss on the curveball. What a spot this game is in. The Rangers are down by 1, but the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. During this at-bat, either the Rangers will score or the White Sox will win. It's Will Benson, who's been their best player during the postseason. The count is even 1-1. Bruno Merced with the bases loaded. That one is high for ball 2. Merced has been clutch all year. Can he get one more big out, the biggest of his life? Benson grounds it to second. Ramos to first. The White Sox are moving on. The Cardiac Kids did not quit. Down by 3, going into the top of the 9th inning. Down to our final strike with Schmidt. And then even when we took the lead, the Rangers loaded the bases. But when the lights were the brightest and the chips were put at the center of the table, the rookie, Bruno Merced, comes up big again. Chicago's season, miraculously, which has been hanging on a thread since the 6th inning, our season will not end. And we will be moving on to the ALCS. Wow. What a freaking game. What a win. We've got a lot to clean up at the plate. We were trolling for 8 innings. And as much as this team and the story about them since episode 1 has been their lack of clutchness, I will say, it feels like in the postseason, when we are in a big spot and need a big hit, we're going to get it. Or in this case, 3. It was Sanabria, Schneemann, and Ramos, the 3 heroes. We hadn't homered prior to the 9th inning since the pinch hit homer in Game 3 by Ramos. Wisniewski had a good game. Bullpen was fantastic. Got a little dicey in the bottom of the 9th. But we trusted Bruno Merced. He's been awesome all year. And the rookie comes up big again. Rangers offense didn't give him enough. Sandy Alcantara was good, but the bullpen in the 9th let it go. Bruised leg for Richie Lindsay. He'll be okay and should be good to go pretty early in the ALCS against Detroit. We've got the Tigers, who beat Cleveland in Game 5. Detroit was down 2-0 against the Guardians, but they won 3 in a row. 3-0 shutout in Game 5. Jackson Jobe was the hero for Detroit against his former teammate, Jack Flaherty. Abreu, Manzardo all drive-in runs. Jose Ramirez with a homer against his former team. In the NL, it's the Giants and the Mets. The Cinderella run for the Pirates is done. Credit to them for making it this far. I didn't think they would. So it's Chicago and Detroit, 86 wins versus 93. The Tigers have some injuries, but not as much as us. Christian Javier got dinged up in Game 3 against Cleveland. Max Clark, broken shin. He will not be available. That's a big deal. He's one of their best players. Other than those 2 guys, though, they're pretty healthy, and they've got a loaded lineup. Jose Ramirez still chasing a ring. Geraldo Perdomo, one of the top shortstops. Kyle Manzardo, one of the top hitters, period, in the league. Wilyer Abreu. William Contreras, who didn't play against Cleveland, he's back. It's been a down year for Contreras, but when he's on, he's one of the best catchers in the league. As for the pitching, of course, led by this guy, Tarek Skubal, who hasn't pitched all that well in the first 2 games against Cleveland, but he's had another great year. I know the ERA is a bit high, but the advanced metrics say he's a lot better than those ERAs show. Had a WAR of nearly 5 amongst the leaders in Major League Baseball. And we'll get to see some of these young guys like Russell Lamb, Rolando Bell, players who we almost drafted. They've got a pretty solid bullpen, which includes Tanner Scott. Look, the simple fact of the matter is nobody thinks we're going to win this series. Everybody and their mother is picking the Tigers. Detroit was better throughout the year. We're super banged up. We're hanging on for dear life. But it feels like there's a little added pressure with our team, and when we play with a chip on our shoulder, that's when we're at our best. when everybody's doubting us. And my God, nobody thinks we're going to win this series. Let's shock the world, why don't we? ALCS starting in the next episode. Hope you guys are ready. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. My voice feels like it's about to die. Peace out.